Russia says convincing evidence has been handed over to UN experts showing that photos and videos of the recent chemical attack near Damascus were fabricated. Photos and videos of the recent chemical attack near Damascus were fabricated. The Russian Foreign Ministry says international experts, as well as Syrian public and religious leaders, presented their evidence to the 24th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva on September 9. It says evidence provided by numerous witnesses also unanimously confirms that insurgents used chemical weapons in the Damascus suburb of western Ghouta on August 21. Participants in the UN Human Rights Council meeting warned of the consequences of a military strike against Syria, noting that such an attack would constitute a crude violation of international law. The U.S. administration has been using the footage and the photos. The U.S. administration has been using the footage and the photos in question to lobby for a military strike on Syria. The U.S. administration has been using the footage and the photos and videos of the recent chemical attack near Damascus were fabricated.
John Kerry, he comes out Friday and he lied to the whole world. He used what he knew was fake photos from Iraq and put it into the minds of the masses that this was Syria.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Our intelligence community has carefully reviewed and re-reviewed information regarding this attack, more than mindful of the Iraq experience. It was ordinary Syrian citizens who reported all of these horrors. And just as important, we know what the doctors and the nurses who treated them didn't report. Not a scratch, not a shrapnel wound, not a cut, not a gunshot wound.
Staff at this hospital say the patients they treated suffered only from wounds from conventional weapons. This is the Meza University Hospital. They wouldn't let us film inside, but staff members told us they did receive a large number of casualties on Wednesday from the areas where the attacks allegedly took place. But they also said none of these casualties had any signs of being subjected to chemicals.
We saw rows of dead lined up in burial shrouds, the white linen unstained by a single drop of blood.
Staff at this hospital say the patients they treated suffered only from wounds from conventional weapons.
Instead of being tucked safely in their beds at home, we saw rows of children lying side by side, sprawled on a hospital floor, all of them dead from Assad's gas,
only from wounds from conventional weapons,
and surrounded by parents and grandparents who had suffered the same fate.
They were busted, and then they retracted all this, and they came out and told the truth, and they did this, and he's caught red-handed. This is huge. This shows the propaganda and the links that they will go through to try to manipulate what you're seeing and what you're believing.
All of them dead from Assad's gas.
This is the Meza University Hospital. They also said none of these casualties had any signs of being subjected to chemicals.
All of them dead from Assad's gas.
None of these casualties had any signs of being subjected to chemicals, only from wounds from conventional weapons.
When the BBC ran this photo from Iraq claiming it was Syria, it led to some fierce criticisms.
The BBC is like a British bombing club. It always supports NATO's wars.
The world's seen fake video reports and false statements, but this hasn't quelled the sensation-hungry media from jumping the gun on any shocking piece of news coming from the country ravaged by conflict.
Good afternoon, everybody.
More than mindful of the Iraq experience.
Photos and videos of the recent chemical attack near Damascus were fabricated.
This is explosive information. I don't know what else to call it. Hackers News have got some information from the hackers within the organization that have hacked Army generals' emails and have screenshots and proof of all this that show through their conversations that 100% it was a false flag setup inside of Syria, with all the links and all the information right here.
But while many media outlets loudly condemn the regime, there has been little criticism of the open and blatant funding and arming of the Syrian opposition.
Mr. President, you are a liar. You only got funky tunes, baby. Mr. CEO, did you hire a lie detector under wire?
Traumatic amputation. It was kind of hard to have somebody say, don't wash that wound, you might wash evidence away.